Hey, so, back here again. Man. So, it's been a while again. Or specifically, a whole year since the last State of the Address I made. And once again, not a whole lot's been done on my end, as seems to be a running trend for me. Well, now, I actually have a proper explanation as to why that all is. Before we start, firstly, I'd like to apologize again for being sporadic on this channel of mine. Besides what I'll be discussing, I've mostly still been streaming on Twitch on top of my work for both the Pyromancers and SMG4. I intend to make a separate video at some point talking about my time with the latter group, but for now, let's focus on the present. Secondly, I must warn you all right now, this is not going to be a very happy update compared to the others I've done. What I've been dealing with these past months, and, well, even longer than that, is stuff I've gone to great lengths not to discuss on this channel, instead keeping it to both Twitter and Blue Sky. And I know you're all going to ask why, and it's solely because I don't want you all getting roped into the situations I'm still currently involved in. It should not be any of your burdens to bear. But, regardless, I'm obviously talking about it on here now, since it's all gotten to such a degree I actually can't stay silent about it anymore. So, here goes, I guess. Before I also go a step further, let me make this clear. Do not harass anyone I speak about in this video. It doesn't matter if they're doing terrible things, that does not give you any excuse to return the same energy to them. And if you choose to ignore this warning and harass them anyway, you're literally no better than them. Now, moving on. To start, for the past months, I've had to deal with a person by the name Toxic Holy Grenade. For anyone who actually recognizes that name, you might know that Toxic has been a particular pest across multiple communities, the most prominent being the TF2 Freak Show. There's a lot of history there, but I won't be diving into that can of worms, as the main point right now is that he's turned his focus onto me, specifically, and wants me off the internet for the most idiotic and absolute backwards of reasons possible. You guys ready for this? Because I don't think you are. His reasoning for wanting me gone is, and I quote, "You don't like children, that makes you a bigot and basically tantamount to a pedophile."
Well, yeah, that's, again, the thing, is that he's a fucking predator. Like, he literally goes for children, and it's like, even though I don't like kids myself, I would never wish harm upon them, and the fact he's doing this, it just, it frightens me. It really does, and I hope at least one day that maybe he'll be brought to justice, but a guy can dream, I guess.
I am not joking. That is the entire reason Toxic is on this entire crusade to push me off the internet. And I'm also not joking when I say there are literal pages in his comment history on DeviantArt of him posting the exact same copy-paste message on any artwork that has to do with me or my work in the slightest. And some of these artworks, they often range from years ago from people who don't even use DeviantArt anymore. He is that desperate to get people on his side. As for the link that he's sharing, all it is just an archive link of most of my animations and videos and other stuff, along with quote-unquote evidence against me for why I need to go. To sum it up, I've made at least 4 separate threads across both Twitter and Blue Sky dissecting Toxic's evidence and claims, so I'll link those below if you want to read. But safe to say, he's not happy that I've pretty much been able to defend myself, and he's adamant on continuing this whole crusade of his. So be aware, if you do fan art for me in any capacity, there is a very high chance that Toxic will comment on it with the exact same message I've shown here. Now this is not to discourage any of you from making fan art for me, or of my work. As I've said before, I welcome and appreciate it in any capacity. I'm only saying to not pay Toxic any mind and block him if he comes your way. Here are his current accounts across DeviantArt, Twitter, and Blue Sky. Just be wary. I know also the immediate question that most of you will be asking upon hearing all this now is, why did you not say anything about this guy until now if he's been bugging you for months, Shadow? And the simplest answer I can give is just, compared to the other individual that I'll be discussing today, Toxic is just an annoyance rather than an actual threat. Even if he's openly admitted to have contacted Glitch and SMG4 to get me blacklisted over all of this, I have direct confirmation from the SMG4 admins themselves that they've literally laughed him out of the building. So despite the fact that he's made a direct attempt to threaten my livelihood, Toxic is literally not a threat in the slightest. And yes, before anyone asks, he has used the autism card to justify his mindset, getting help from his own mother, no less. But to close this section off, a direct message to you, Andrew. While you're screaming into the void hoping someone buys into your bullshit about me, I'm still here, just continuing to entertain and do what I love doing. It really says a lot when literally everybody believes you to be nothing but a pest, doesn't it? And on top of that, it's funny how you want to make the bold claim that I'm becoming a pedophile because I don't like children, yet you seem to very much be into them yourself. I would love to see you explain this without the "it's a fictional character" excuse you tried to pull before, you literal hypocritical degenerate. Now, this next part, I really don't want to talk about this now. I genuinely don't. As I said at the start of this, I kept all of this quiet for so long because I didn't want anyone getting involved. But now, it's to the point I no longer can stay silent about it. So, for context, let's rewind a bit back to the last update video I did, where I mentioned having a very persistent stalker. What were my exact words when talking about it at that time? That situation has actually worsened ever so, as the individual in question, who I will once more not be naming so as not to give them the attention they desperately crave from me, the individual in question, who I will once more not be naming. No. No longer will I be giving this person the courtesy of anonymity anymore. After everything they have done as of recent, and the evidence I now have, they no longer deserve it. So, my stalker is an individual by the name of Tyler Wilson, a 26-year-old literal man-baby who has literally made me feel unsafe on the internet and made my life a living hell for the past 10 years! No, I did not stutter. 10 years! Maybe even more. I've lost count at this point. I have a lot to say about Tyler. Genuinely, I do. But the literal laundry list of misdoings he's done to not just me, but many other people as well, is so vast, I can't even go into full detail in this video alone, because otherwise it would go on for longer than I wish for. I intend for a longer video to be made going into this much greater detail about this literal worthless human being at a later date, but for now, allow me to give you the TLDR. Tyler Wilson has relentlessly stalked me, harassed me, impersonated me, stolen my character and claimed it to be his character in order to con artists into drawing my character in disgusting fetish art, threatened me on countless occasions, told me to end my life on just as many, going as far as to attempt to spread a rumor that I am a pedophile just to silence me, and, most recently, doxing me! And before you all freak out and get scared, the blotted out address there isn't my current address. It's an old one. But the fact that he's gone to such great lengths to see me gone that he'll dig up private information about me has taken Tyler from being simply annoying to literally dangerous. All of this because I made it clear that he cannot steal my work. All of this literal hell and torment over a pony OC and speaking the truth about the person he is. Process that. And again, he's not just dangerous to me, but to other people as well. It's outright been confirmed that Tyler is an active sexual predator, the first evidence being when he was outed for ERPing with a 13-year-old girl when he was, at the time, 22 years old.
I want him to answer. Tyler, how old are you?
22.
Then why would you flirt with a 13-year-old, you absolute...
I don't know. I I don't know why I do what I do. I just...
Are there no girls in reality around you? Is there nobody around you? Can you not go to Walmart and find some dumb, ugly broad to hit on? Why do you have to go after a 13-year-old in a server?
I don't know. Because I just...
You are
Because you're
you
weak
do
and
know.
lazy, and you saw an ample opportunity to prey on someone.
I told you once. I said, hey, she's 13. Calm down. That alone should have just given you the gist of not to do it again. But you did it again, twice. That doesn't excuse anything.
He did not mean to flirt with a younger than me. I really...
You were told. Archer told you, and you continued.
I specifically
I don't know why I
told
keep on
you
doing what I...
twice that she was 13. So you have no excuse at all. And you think you can avoid confrontation, knowing the things you've done. Your friend got outed twice for being a predator, and you defended him. And now you're out here flirting with a 13-year-old.
I thought we were just role-playing.
Role-playing is still you and a child. It doesn't matter if it's just role-play. You did this with a child. A child! You knew it was wrong with Gunner, and we had to argue with you twice. You knew hanging out in Archer's server that it was wrong. He gave you a warning to back off. You didn't listen. You didn't back off with me. You are 22 and she is 13. That is a 9-year difference. Do you... So fucking angry.
And there is a lot more evidence than just that. But the sad reality is, no matter how much I have spoken out against Tyler Wilson and provided concrete evidence of the horrible things he's done, Tyler's reaction is always the same. Throwing a tantrum and saying all of the evidence is nothing but lies, and just denying literally everything he's done while trying to paint me as the villain of his story. Yeah, well, guess what, Tyler? I'm no longer going to just sit here and be a victim. So, in the video description below, I will be including a Google Doc that details literally every piece of evidence I've gathered against Tyler up to this current day. It's long, it's extensive, and it's disgusting, but I want this evidence to be spread across the internet far and wide so that people know the name Tyler Wilson and know of the disgusting, horrible person that he truly is. And yes, I know, the next immediate question you all are going to be asking me is, Shadow, if this Tyler guy was making your life hell for over 10 years, why did you never tell us? And the only answer I can give is simply, I didn't want to make this all public outside of Twitter and Blue Sky. Not just because of the gravity of the situation, but because I knew that people would worry about me and things would likely be made worse because Tyler might do some other crazy, desperate thing if people came to my defense against him. That's literally how he acts. And I just don't feel safe on the internet anymore as long as he's still allowed to roam free. I've literally lost sleep over all this, and it's severely impacted my mental health and my work output because I genuinely am worried about the future now that Tyler has proven he'll go to such drastic lengths to silence me. It's the entire reason I've compiled this Google Doc in the first place, because I have no intention of letting Tyler get away with any of this, and I want him brought to justice. So please, I literally never beg at all, but please, give the Google Doc in the video description below a read if you want to know the full extent of what Tyler's done and spread it around. This guy cannot be allowed to remain on the internet or in society in general. And because I know he's very likely watching this right now, know this, Tyler. I was prepared to ignore you and keep quiet about you on this channel until the heat death of the universe. But you forced my hand when you went so far as to threaten my family. So you have only brought all of this onto yourself, and with your recent actions, your fate is sealed. Deny the truth all you want, but consequences will catch up to you soon enough. You've made damn sure about that. And before anything else, I shouldn't have to repeat it, but again, do not harass either Toxic or Tyler over any of this. I don't care that they're both shitty human beings and their actions speak for themselves. The entire reason I'm telling you all of this is to make you all aware of what they're doing, not to incite a witch hunt. I did not raise this community of mine to act as such, and again, If you choose to ignore me and harass either of these two anyway, then you're literally no better than either Toxic or Tyler. All I really would ask is, if either of these two come your way, block and report them. So, yeah. That's pretty much a majority of the reason I've been sporadic and radio silent for so long, is because I've been having to deal with these two literal man-children dogging me for months and years, respectively, and both of them are still going, and I'm tired. Genuinely tired. I don't know what more I can do at this point besides try and remain strong, and I'm just afraid of what these two are gonna do next. Primarily Tyler. I said before he's impersonated me a couple of times. Well, I'm scared he might go further and throw my voice in one of those stupid AI voice mods, or whatever, to make me say horrible and monstrous things and all that I'd never say. Which, I should point out, he's already made a chatbot of me on character.ai that's impersonating me, again, and making me literally suck him off. So, that's already a frightful start. Hell, I'm scared Toxic might try and do the same thing. Or worse still, also try to dox me as a more desperate means of pushing me off the internet. Both of them are that desperate and determined to get rid of me at this point, and they genuinely believe they are in the right in making me miserable. It's frightening, it's draining, and I wish there was just more that could be done, and that there would be an end to this whole sordid affair. A guy like me can only take so much at this point. As of writing this, and recording subsequently, Tyler is still attempting to tell people that I'm the bad guy in this whole debacle, and Toxic is still doing whatever the hell he's doing right now. So, I suppose we'll see what comes from any of this, but I still refuse to simply be a victim anymore. Not now, not ever. So, with all that said, now I guess you're all wondering, what happens to this channel? Simply put, nothing. I'm still going to be animating, I'm still going to be making videos, just things are going to be significantly slower now since I have no real clear idea anymore when videos will be done with everything still going on right now. That also includes the sudden passing of my father at the very start of last year, which has also been a factor in a lot of my absence from here. But, to run down the status of my current projects now, Lyrish Epilogue has still been in a bit of a limbo after the Wubcake drama and still needs reworking and reanimating in some places. So there's a high chance I'll be jumping over to Secrets That We Hide for the time being, followed by, most likely, Chapter 3 of Paper and Ink. Episode 2 of Untold Darkness is almost ready to start being animated. Turk and I are just doing some last-minute tweaks and adjustments to the framework and script, and will finally be ready to go. For the moment, however, there are 2 animations I intend to finish first. The first, obviously, being the very long overdue sequel to the Double Shadow Jasper Pie prank call video, and the other being something that I've been doing in collaboration with Richard Animations, a very talented artist and animator in the SMG4 community who's been responsible for those really amazing custom faces that you've all seen on Mr. Puzzles in all their videos. There's obviously other smaller animations and things in the works, but these 2 are my current priorities. Very likely that I will make more of an active attempt to stream work on all these videos, barring SMG4 work obviously, on Twitch, since I found a better way to distribute my workshop add-ons to better switch from SMG4 work to personal work, so to speak. So there's a high chance that Gmod streams will pick up in frequency this year.
But what about the
Please refer to my answer to this question from the previous update video, thank you. Alright, no. If you really want more Elements of Insanity videos again, let me do it my way. As in, on my own time, and once I actually know what the hell I'm doing. Maybe I'll do some very small and short videos of them to ease back into things, but please understand, they're still very low on my priority list, and, again, I'm only one person doing all of this. There's only so much that I can do on my own. And finally, something else that's been long overdue in returning. Double Shadow Plays. We know, it's been ages, and there are many things we still need to get back to. And this year, we're gonna try and make the effort to get off our asses and get back to all of it. Overlord, The Pirate's Fate, Shadow of Mordor, and War, the Monkey Island trilogy, Bendy, Five Nights at Wario's, all of that! Just give us time. We haven't forgotten any of it. And that's pretty much it. I know that this was a lot to really take in, but again, I kept this silent on YouTube for so long for what I thought was good reason. But I never envisioned that the two man-children stalking me would go to such desperate measures to try and get rid of me now, nor did I anticipate, well, a lot of last year happening. I'm obviously still not at 100%, but damned if I'm going to give up now. I just still can't apologize enough for both keeping you all in the dark about this, and also not being able to keep up on my animation work on this channel still. Even with everything that's happened in my life right now, I feel like I owe you guys a lot more at this point, and I just haven't been able to provide it. I'm hoping this year will finally be the year where I fix all that, but I suppose we'll see. So again, sorry for keeping all of this from you and being inconsistent yet again. And to those of you that have still stuck around despite everything, I thank you. Genuinely. I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am right now without you guys, this entire community of mine, and I don't intend on abandoning you all still. Not by a long shot. So until then, I'm still gonna try and take it easy, given what's still happening. But if you all are still seeking content from me in some regard, as I said, I tend to stream regularly over on Twitch, and if you can't catch the live show, my Twitch archive channel has VODs of all my streams for your viewing pleasure. I've also been somewhat picking up frequency uploading to my YTP channel if you want some more random sorts of content to watch. I'm actually fairly close to reaching 2,000 subscribers on that channel, so I'd actually be really grateful if you all could help with that little push. Oh, and one more thing. I'm also going to be altering my Patreon ever slightly again, specifically the $15 and $25 tiers. I'll be dropping them down to $10 and $15 respectively, mostly because I feel I don't post enough on there to warrant such high-priced tiers, and also, I'd love for people to actually have access to more of the rewards I have on Patreon without having to kill their wallets every month if they choose to support me at such a level. The change to the tiers will go into effect a little after this video goes up, so keep your eyes peeled. Other than that, as I said, still animating, still making content, still not going anywhere. Until then, thank you all again for sticking around, and I'll see you next time. Peace.